Here is my assignment and presentation: the psychology of grief with the resilient, also the meaning making, presented by Christopher Johnson. Structure start, Psychology 1010, General Studies, Psychology. Hello, my name is Christopher Johnson. Today, I'll be presenting in regards to the psychology of grief and how people like ourselves cope with things such as loss without even getting to deep depression. Personal connection, an appropriate way to move beyond these 5 stages, whereas the topic I'm talking about is way too personal, in which I lost both parents in the year 2023. I lost my mother due to drunk driver, hit my mother while she was walking across the street, and my father had passed away due to natural causes, in which many will believe that when it comes to grief, that it follows a process of the 5 steps. However, with the research of the experience proves that it is more likely a way. The point I'm trying to get across is that grief can be very challenging and tough. Only the meaning making and the resilience that it do not have to lead to a way much longer term when it comes to depression. The dual process module, which is the loss orientation that versus the restoration orientation. Strobe and Shook, 1999. When it comes to Strobe and Shook, in which describes the dual process model, wherein as people we tend to move between feeling the pain when there is a loss and continue the pain when there is a loss and continue to focus on future, whereas the over and over back and forth is considered very healthy, in which our brain that is processing trauma in very small pieces. Number 4 slide, grief versus the clinical depression. Recognize a resilient, Bono, 2004. Tell me something. How people that we are able to know when grief becomes a depression. Whereas the research by George Bono, which clearly shows that people is considered to be naturally resilient, where the part about sadness is considered to be normal. Only that complicated grief occurs when an individual is stuck within a drama, whereas the fact of mindfulness can actually help an individual to avoid deep depression. Meaning of making a legacy, finding purpose in loss. Niemer, ETL, 2006, where the key facts to the person moving on is the meaning making, which a person honors the individuals that will lose by finding purpose, in which creating this presentation and legacy for my parents, which we reconstruct meaning, whereas that helps me to cope and to live a happy life, in which the loss that I experience. Number 6, the conclusion. In conclusion, however, I must admit that at the same time, the grief really do not leave, only that it affects a change from worse to better. Whereas strong individuals as ourselves had the skills and expertise to be able to bounce back. And thanks, as I appreciate that you are listening. The reference, Bono G at 2004, Lost Trauma and Human Resilience. Understand the human. I got the HTTPS with the DOI, and I got Strobe versus Strobe M Shoot, which was in 1999, and Niemer and Baldwin, Essay and Gals, 2006, Continued Bonds and Reconstruction. And that's the end of my presentation. and apologize that I had to show my presentation like that, but I'm showing proof and verification that I did submit this, and I'm doing this link. That's why it took me so long, because it would not let me upload. And thank you for your time and consideration on this important matter.